Welcome to Off Watch, our weekly interview series. This week, it's the turn of Charles Caudrelier, the winning skipper from the last edition of the race. He took some time out from his holiday to talk me through what those final few miles in the race felt like, plus what it meant to him to build a team that ultimately could lift the trophy at the end of 9 months. If you enjoy this interview, subscribe for more, and in the comments below, you can let us know what questions you want answers to. Enjoy. The last edition of the race was historic, with 3 teams joint on points starting a 1,000 nautical mile final leg in a winner-takes-all situation that would settle 9 months of racing. For the crews, it was yet one more test in keeping your nerves under control and your concentration laser-focused. For the Chinese Dongfeng Race Team, winning would be the crowning achievement in a campaign which sought to take offshore sailing to Asia and put Chinese sailors at the heart of the race. Their skipper, Charles Caudrelier, had already achieved so much. 2 TJV victories to his name, plus a win in the Solitaire de Figaro, and not to mention already being a winner in the ocean race back with Groupama 4. Charles, thank you very much. I've been really looking forward to this interview. And there's so much that I want to talk to you about. But what I want to do is just jump straight to that moment where you're about to start that final leg in the last edition of the race. And the question that comes to my mind is, with the win that you had with Groupama, it was as a sailor, just part of the crew. So you didn't have the stresses that come with being a skipper and being a leader. For that final leg, with such an important do or die decision, was there a part of you that wished maybe somebody else could be skipper for that final leg?
Oh, no, definitely not, because I think I was so lucky to be a skipper of this team for 2 editions. And no, I was really focused, and I was only stressed by the fact that I really thought we were the best team and we could win, and we didn't succeed since the start of the race to win just a leg. And I say it's not possible, but I had the feeling that it's going to happen. I say it's impossible we finish this race without winning a leg, and so this one will be perfect. And no, I was not so much stressed actually, because I think we had nothing to lose. I mean, we just have to fight. We don't have to watch at the points. There was only one thing to do, is to put the 2 boats behind us. And I think the team was really ready and very frustrated from the past of the race. So, and we had a meeting the night before, I think. And few people speak, and I remember from a speech from one of the youngest sailor of the board was Jacques Boutel, and he did a very fantastic speech, and he really trust we could win, and I think everybody trusts each other to win this leg, and that's what we did.
It's really interesting that you mentioned that speech, because I've seen maybe only part of that speech, a few clips that you guys have released.
For the next leg, I think it's really to not have any regret. Charles, you know, I know you're good enough to win. I know you're the best guy I've sailed with, 100%. I know you've got it in you to do it, and Pascal as well, you're one of the best navigator I've sailed with. I know you can do it. I know we can all do it. Caroline, you're an amazing trimmer. Daryl, you're an amazing driver. Kevin, you're terrible, but
How much in the days just before the start of that final leg, how much did you see the rest of your crew preparing and trying to motivate each other? You know, you must have been quite proud as to how they were also very focused. Like you say, one job, 2 boats must be behind us.
Yeah, I think what we did well, and maybe that's why we won, is that we had it was not only the sailing team, it was all the people around us, and everybody was pushing us, because of course the sailors are exhausted and we had just a short stopover. So we focused on resting a maximum. And then we thought it was a good time to spend some time together and to have this speech together, and that everybody speak and say what he wants to say. And but yeah, I think the difference was how we prepare this leg. I think it was a short leg, or maybe the other team did not prepare as well as us the navigation and all the details. And I think from the start until the end, we never changed. We were always 100%. I already felt on the last edition that on the last leg, people are exhausted and don't prepare it as well. And why we went out onshore, it was only because we spent hours, not us, Marcel Ventriès and the guy who was in the performance team spent hours to think about this passage onshore. And I think some of the team didn't work enough and didn't think about, imagine we could pass there because it was very narrow. And for us, it was an obvious choice. And when we spoke to the other team, some of them say, I didn't watch. I think it was impossible to pass. For me, it was too long, or they didn't work on this. And I think that's what makes the difference. It's all the details. Everybody has worked on each stopover. And when we start the leg, we always have a very good boat. We always are in a good shape because we had good food, because we had good physical training. And that's what makes the difference for me, because we prepare it as all the leg. We spend so much time for only 2 days of racing.
Let's talk then about that preparation, because you mentioned Marcel Ventriès, and this is he's a big name in the ocean race. He's done 5 editions, I think, as a sailor, and then he's most seen now behind onshore doing the navigation. I want to pick your brains about this decision to go inshore, to go off. First of all, as you guys were looking at it, how obvious to you was the plan? Was it clear we have to go inshore 100%?
Before we start, it was our first choice to go inshore. And we had two reasons. And that's very funny because we did a mistake on the leg going from Newport to Cardiff, I think. And I think Marcel's idea was we go south, like the winning team. And we didn't really maybe spend enough time to speak about the option. And it was not very clear. And then I remember that Pascal say on this leg, he say, okay, Marcel, if you are on board, where are you going? And he say, I will go on shore. Okay, I want a clear answer. So thank you, Marcel. And why we go, and we know why. It was really, Marcel is very interesting because he explain you and he give you why you go on shore, why you go offshore. And he say, for me, the risk is to go out offshore for sure. You have less wind and you finish downwind. So when we arrived with Pascal, we were just before we take the decision, we were fighting with Mapfre, like match racing. And suddenly comes a choice. And for us, since the morning, it was obvious. We didn't spend so much time are we going onshore, offshore? Okay, nothing changed. Less wind out offshore and a big downwind to go to the finishing line if you go offshore. And Pascal was absolutely sure that Mapfre was going with us. For us, it was so obvious we go there that we didn't imagine the people will not follow us. And it was a big surprise. And I was not surprised. I told him, I think they are not coming. I'm pretty sure they are not coming. He said, it's not possible. Why they don't come? So for us, it was, and we did some routing, and it was also still good to go onshore and always good onshore. And for us, the risk was offshore. It was not very clear because the difference between the two options was very small, but the risk was offshore.
You talk a lot about the people that you have on board your team, and you seem very modest as a skipper. You're always saying, I'm not the best skipper, but I have the best team. Let's just talk about Pascal Bidégorry, because he had at that moment, obviously, a lot of stress on his shoulders. You know him very well. What was he like? What was his behavior like in that final second half of that leg? Is he one of those people that keeps it in his own mind, or does his stress come out?
No, not really. He was not. He was very focused and very concentrated, and he was trying to, as he used to do as a single-handed sailor. He liked to go fast. I mean, he's very famous to go fast. Also, he's not only a good navigator, he's a fantastic trimmer and driver, and he was really focused to push the boat at the maximum, because he know that the difference will be small. And he was very quiet, actually, from what I remember. And maybe probably a bit stressed, because the ley line was not good, and we lost a bit of time, and he was scared. We lost because of that, but he has been very, very quiet, actually.
And then, like all of you, when you guys cross the finish line, you are ahead. It is only small, but you cross the finish line. Suddenly we see you all smiling and everything. Pascal's got tears in his eyes. What did you, when you realize, when the stress goes, we've won. I'm the skipper. I've led this team, my team here. We've all won together. What did you say to your team at that point?
I think we shout a lot. And no, I think I went to Pascal and I said that we did it. And we were just, I think, crying together. And I could feel how much I could feel in everybody how important this campaign was, and all the sacrifice they did with the family, with their personal life, to be 100% committed to this team. And I think we were just all proud of what we did together. And I think everybody thought about all the job. It was a long campaign. It was a long race. It was probably the toughest race we will have, because now it's not one design anymore. And I'm not sure one day again we will have a finish like that. So, but we know also we were very proud, because we know this race will be one of the race, because the finish with 3 boats in the same pot, nobody could imagine it will happen. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Does that make it a little bit more special in the way that I'm not going to want to take anything away from Sir Peter Blake? Steinlager 2 wins everything. Groupama 4, you guys, I think, won with maybe one leg to spare. Abu Dhabi Ocean Racing, they had one leg to spare. Because the victory was so difficult for you and it was so close, is it even more special for you?
Well, of course it is, because the fight was so amazing, and I'm very proud to have won a race in one design, because it's only about the sailor, and it's not about the boat. It's also special because it was a Chinese team with a Chinese sailor on board. This team was really something special, and I'm very proud of what we did with Bruno Dubois and all the guys together. We did 2 Volvo Ocean Race together with Pascal and Kevin and a few of them, and we are still good friends. And I really like the human side of this team. So for me, of course, it's special because I was a skipper, but I think for everybody involved in the team, it was really something special that they will keep for their life, because of what happened, but also because of the energy, of the spirit of this team. And that what is fantastic is usually when you do a Volvo Ocean Race, you don't want to speak to the other guy for a few months. And today we still have the same WhatsApp group, which we call Dongfeng Race Team Social. And this group is still active. Nobody left it. And we have news from everybody. When there is birthday, everybody say hello to the guy who. So it's really special. And I think, I don't know when it's going to stop, but we still have the same amount of people on this group, and everybody is there. Even Marcel Ventriès, even Stu Ballantyne, all these guys who could have imagined, okay, they have done so much Volvo, they will leave. And they stay. And I don't know why, but I think for all these guys, it was a special moment, a special race. And of course, because we won, it was something incredible. So that will stay in our life for a long time. And for our kids, for our family also.
Did you even imagine that when you were first involved with Dongfeng Race Team 2 editions ago, did you think maybe this team, maybe we could win this race one day?
Yeah, when I arrived in China the first time and I discovered the Chinese sailor who has no experience, didn't spend any night offshore and were seasick, I say, well, last time we won with Groupama. We started the race 2 years before. We had the best sailor we could find everywhere in the world. And we struggled to win with the best boat. And now in 6 months, I have to be on the starting line. And that's just impossible to do an academy of sailing and racing in the same time with the best offshore sailor. But then arrived the first leg, the second leg, and we were fast and we had good speed. And I realized that the fact that it was in one design, with all the French sailors who are involved in one design class in France, we have really a very good level of sailor for that. And after 1 or 2 legs, I believe we could win the first time. And we need 2 times, but yeah, when we arrive on the second race, we have the best condition to win, except that we have to take some Chinese sailors sometimes on board who have less experience than a Peter Blake or a Peter Berling or a Blair Tuck for sure. But yeah, we had a very.
I mean, I'm just thinking of those 3 Chinese sailors. I mean, Chen Jinhao has gone on to do some really interesting sailing. Do you still stay in touch with those 3 sailors? And do you still feel, I mean, you must be impressed with how far they've come.
Yeah, I've been impressed because when they joined the first time, they were only 21 years old. They have not any experience, offshore experience in racing. So, I mean, this race is really tough. I mean, most of the race I do now, for me, it's classic. I go across the Atlantic. I go around the world with my big boat. It's sometimes tough, but it's okay. But the Volvo is so long sometimes and so tough. And you push the boat so much, especially in one design, and you have lots of water on the deck, and the life is really crazy. And it's 9 months of racing. It's too long. I mean, every time I say this race is too long. And this guy did it. They didn't do all the leg, but they did. And I was thinking, when I was 21, even if I have offshore experience, I'm not sure I would have done this race. It's really tough. So I'm impressed, and they become good sailors, and we could trust them on board. They were not able to drive or trim the boat as well as the other one, but they were part of the team, and I mean, they were part of the winning team, and they played the game, and they played very well. So I'm very proud. But for them now, I think they are a bit lost because they were in one of the best teams you could dream. First time they're racing, they're already in the best and know what they're going to do. They struggle to know, what are they going to do? Are they going to do the race again? Are they going to do them projects themselves? One of them want to do single-handed race and come to France, but it's complicated for him to find sponsor, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not sure they will sail again at this level. I don't know. That's a bit sad, because it's complicated in China to sail. I mean, so I don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes they speak to me, they ask me advice, and if I can help them to come to France and join some single-handed race, I will do it. But I think for them it's not so easy because they are young. The team does not exist anymore, and they have not so much opportunity actually.
So hard work for them, but I'm sure the generation below them has already had their eyes widened. One thing I'm wondering is, you mentioned how quickly they needed to learn about offshore sailing and the safety, let alone how to go fast for 9 months. But for you, did you have to learn about being a skipper? Because before Dongfeng Race Team, it was mainly solo, some double-handed in the Transat Jacques Vabre. But how much did you have to learn yourself?
Oh, I think I've learned a lot on the first race with Groupama because we had a very long project, a very high level with lots of people in the team, people which were difficult to manage. So I have seen a lot and I have learned a lot. Then I try to do my own way, but I think what I did well is to have the good people around me. I mean, with Bruno Dubois, who was a team manager, but also with Pascal, with Kevin. I have this group of people that I could trust 100% to be always behind me. And when I did mistakes, they were always behind me. And I think all the team also was. So I think I was lucky to have all these people around me, and it was easy for me to do the job. And I didn't have to find the money. I didn't have to manage the project, the financial side. I remember from Jan Walker what to manage everything. Me, I told Bruno, okay, I don't want to be involved in this part. I only want to be involved in the sport. Let's do like they can do in Formula One or something else. We are the pilots. Me, I am the chief of the pilot, and give me all to do my job as well as well as I can, and we will do it. But I don't want to be disturbed with politics. I don't want to be disturbed with financial, with sponsor. I will do my job as skipper for the media, for the sponsor, of course, but no business. My only business is to sail and sail faster than the other one, and that's why it was easier also. And so. Of course, I did mistake. I was sometimes I'm not very optimistic sometimes. I can be pissed off when we are not leading the race, and when I do mistake, I'm very hard with me. But people follow me because I had the good people. But maybe I hope that I did a good job. So sometimes.
With those good people, when you were putting together your team, did you try and pick the best jib trimmer, the best helm, the best sailor here, just a group of really good sailors? Or did you try and see who would fit together like a complicated jigsaw?
Yeah, I think for me, it's difficult to know who are the best sailor, the best trimmer. I take some people, I think I know the people coming from France, they are single-handed racer. I know they go fast, I know they train fast. So I know they are good for that. But what I've seen from my first campaign with Groupama, where people were all good sailors, but had different way of trimming the boat. And sometimes they were not agree, or they didn't listen the other one, or they were problem of ego and blah, blah, blah. They were not performing as well as they should do. And I was 100% sure it was the key. And that's why Dongfeng Race Team first race was good, because the team was working really together, respecting and listening, and everybody had idea and proposed idea, and we tried the idea, and that was a success. And I tried to do it on the second time, keep this spirit, but I took some very strong sailor from New Zealand, like Daryl Wislong, like Stu Ballantyne, from everywhere in the world. I think if I done it the first time, it would not have worked, because I will not have been as sure. I will not have been trust me enough to lead these people. But on the second time, they asked me to come. We spoke, but they wanted to come. And the first time I called them to come, they didn't want, or they come and they left because they didn't think we could do it. but they have seen what we have done with Pascal, Kevin, and all the French guys together, and then they wanted to see how we sail, what we have, what was our secrets, and that was very interesting because they were listening to us. And when we were sailing with Groupama, Frank is a fantastic sailor and trimmer and driver, and he can design the best boat. But some guys were not listening to him because they thought he was not good. He was just a French guy doing from French race, and he really struggled to have it, that people follow the idea in design. He managed to do it, and at the end we had the best boat, but it was not easy for him. So that's what I wanted, really a fantastic team spirit. I think if you have 10 Ronaldo and 10 Messi in a football team, you are probably not the best team, because people will want to put the goal instead of the other one, and then nobody will play together. So that was really the key for me.
I think that anybody who's done this sport long enough, you only need to do sailing for a week to know that there is a lot of ego in all parts of sailing. Were you happy with your team and the atmosphere from day one, or did you have to remind anybody, look, don't, lose the ego, relax. This is the atmosphere I want?
No, because it was clear since the beginning, and each time I call a guy and I explain him what I want. And I knew Daryl Wislang a little bit. I knew I think about him. I knew Caroline Bauer. I know these people, and I had a good feeling. Probably, I don't think I made a mistake choosing my people. If I have to do it again, I will probably choose the same people. Some of them maybe don't want to come back, but because of me or because of someone else. But yeah, the most complicated relationship was with Pascal, but because we know each other since a long time, and sometimes we can fight a lot about decision. We don't agree. He has been skipper for more time, longer time than me, and he's a fantastic skipper. And sometimes we had some problem, or he wanted to do something else. And but at the end, he always respect my choice, and he said, "You are the skipper," so it was good. And even if when we fight, a few minutes after it was done, it was over. It was a second race together, so it was a difficult, maybe more difficult relationship on the second one. But since the beginning, we knew it, and we speak about it with Pascal, and we say, "Do you really want to go back with me again?" And he told me, the first time he told me, it's going to be more difficult than the first time. And he was right, but we managed to do it, and I think, we are still friends, so it's okay.
Let's talk about some of the little solutions and some of the little secrets, because, of course, now the race is done. For the next edition, where the 65s will be sailing as one of the classes, the sails will be different, little things will be different. So I'm trying to encourage you to be happy about sharing some of your little secrets. So with the last two editions, I remember the first edition you did, 14-15, with Dongfeng Race Team, there was all these discussions about whether you were putting in much more forestay tension, pulling the mast forward. There were so many good rumors. What did you do on your 65? What did you do that you go, we did this, nobody else knew about it, it made us quick? Is there anything that you can tell me?
Well, the first time, everybody said we put more attention, that's why we break the mast, because that's the way a lot of people, Anglo-Saxon people, thinks. But that's not the way we trim the boat in France, because we have very light boat, and they are not strong. So and the main difference, Darwin, we were. I remember we found something. We were on the first leg, and we were with Abu Dhabi and Brunel, probably, or someone like that. And we were sailing downwind. We were not so fast, and we say, okay, we have to change something. Let's try something else. And we just is a bit the tack of the kite and trim a lot of lot of the main sails, put the best driver on, and then we start to go fast. And after I remember we had this mark on the main sheet, which was really trim compared to the other one, and the mark on the tack to ease a lot the luff. And we always keep this mark, always go to the same mark, and each time we go on this mark, we were fast. And that was one of the key. And after, I think we had confidence, and people were not confident. They tried many things. I know some of them tried to put the mast forward. We never do that. And we play also a lot on the left tension of the sails and on the tack of the sails. That's what we did, and we had the good speed. And we had, but it was not something really special, and that people think a lot about what we are doing, but we are not doing it. And but on the biggest difference of speed was actually on the second race. We were the first one to play with a keel, and that was something I was really pissed off because nobody do it. Why we do it? Because in France we used to sail a lot on IMOCA boats, and we have worked a lot with the designer, and we knew that at one stage dropping the keel, and nobody did it on the race before. Only in strong condition in the south, but they didn't think it was faster or reaching. It was faster, and the second leg we passed everybody, and because we were last after a bad option, and we passed everybody with a fantastic speed, and everybody say, "Wow, we were stacking, cheating, and blah blah blah." We are just playing with the keel, and unfortunately, the race experts speak about that, and so everybody did it at the end. So we lost this big advantage. And another one was how we trim the outrigger. We were really, especially with the front sail, we were really the small sail, we were going very, very outside very early. And that's what we were fast, I think. And the same thing, there was a picture passed on the race expert when we passed Brunel reaching, and he was like half of the outrigger, and we were max outside. So the guy are smart. They watch the video, they watch the picture, and in 2 legs we lost one of the 2 main advantage. But the main one was a keel, and that was really strange because we were playing with Mapfre before the race, and we were doing some two-boat testing. And that's where we start to play how to set up the keel, because how much you drop, that's the key. And now everybody know we have the keel, but how much we drop. So we were playing, and the Spanish were sometimes, so we had different sails sometimes, and they were faster with the sails. Then we changed, so the sails was better. They had the better sail. We did some two-boat testing and say, okay, this is the good sails, but if we push the keel now, with the keel, we are going to go faster. And the Spanish was lost. Say, wow, they are faster with this sail. It's not possible. It was just about the keel. And I asked them if they knew, they knew there was something we were doing, but they didn't think about the keel. And they just realized it after the leg 2, I think. And that, usually I don't care about secret. I'm not about, but I say the keel, nobody speak about the keel. Nobody. I mean, if you go sailing on another boat with a counting keel, you don't speak about that. You don't do about, because I know some people were going to sail on some boat with counting keel and say, you don't speak about that. You keep it for us until the end of the race. And unfortunately, we only managed to keep it until leg 2. And I was really pissed off against the race expert after the leg 2, really. Because during the night, I called them and I said, don't watch at the number, or don't, you know what's happening, speak, don't speak. And they did.
I remember that moment. I remember, because obviously the race experts and me and Conrad and everybody, we're all sharing the same office. And of course, it's a group of people that love sailing, love talking about boats, so they do it. But of course, all of the teams as well, they do have their own race experts looking at the videos, looking at the photos. So I'm sure it would have been discovered at one point, but I can completely understand your frustration. Is one other thing that you mentioned, and it wasn't in the last edition, but you talked about the mast breaking in the 14th, 15th edition. And I just wonder For you as the skipper there, with the Chinese sailors at that point, this is their first time round the planet. For any skipper, we always talk about the performance, the speed, but of course the safety and the responsibility. With that moment, and you had those inexperienced people on board, at that point inexperienced, now more experienced than me, of course, but did you think, this is a responsibility I don't want?
No, not really, because I think what I've learned a lot on the Volvo Ocean Race on the first edition, and also it's about safety, because in France we are not very serious about that. We were not very serious about that when I started sailing, and on the Ocean Race I realized, that was we had to do it to be very professional and work on that, and we did it, and we have a very good safety course in England, and everybody, I think, feel responsible about his own safety, and we have everything on board. So I think the Volvo Ocean Race do a very good job about that. And yes, of course, I know it can happen. It has happened, but each time it was really tough condition. It was life jacket mandatory, and everybody was respecting it. So I was scared sometimes about someone. I remember, for example, on the second edition, we did a mistake on a jibe, and we had a fuck up after the jibe, and Kevin had to go on the bowsprit, and it was dark night. It was a 6 to 8 meters wave, 40 knots, and we couldn't furl because there was a problem on the furler, and Kevin had to go on the bow. Wow, that was terrible, because I know his kid, I know his family, and he was there, and I couldn't see anything, and that was a big stress at this moment. But when we are normally sailing, it was okay. Just one moment, I say, okay, we have to slow down. It's too dangerous for the team. We did it. We lost a few miles. Probably we lost the opportunity to stay with Brunel. But at the end, I have no regret, because we arrived with the boat in good shape and at the Cape Horn in the third position, and we came back. So we could have pushed more, but that was my decision, and I have no regret.
With it coming so close at the end, when you looked at that final position report, like you said, 6 hours before the finish, and you go, right, okay, we are 7 miles behind. We're going to lose. It's going to be really close. Was there anything in your mind that you thought back past the last 9 months that you thought, if I had just jibed 12 hours later on leg 2, or if I had just gone to this sail on leg 4, was there anything that you're thinking, oh no?
It's funny, because I just thought, if we don't win, I'm going to spend my summer, maybe my year, or maybe my life to think about all these details. And I don't want that. So we have to win. And yes, and at the end of the race, I say I was sad for Shabby or for the other one, because I know that they are and they probably still do it. They think about all these mistakes they did. And me, I don't care. We did it, but we won. So it's over. And that's the only thing I thought. I remember I say, it's not possible. We can't lose. We did. I really had the feeling, even if all the team have sailed well and Brunel did a fantastic comeback, that we were, I don't like to say that, because I don't want losers say that we are not lucky. And it was not, I say we have not been lucky. I mean, I think I did some mistake, but bad choice, stupid mistake, and I can have regret, but we also have been very unlucky compared to the race before, where I will say we have been lucky. And I say we don't deserve that, and we have to win. So, and I stay focused until the end of the race. And when I finish, I remember I'm not going to spend my life to think about this jibe I did wrong, or blah, blah, blah. And we could have done a better I could say, because I like to do better, so I could say, well, I would have preferred to win more leg and be the big leader. But at the end, when you see what happened and the story of this race, this win is magic because of what happened on the last leg, I think. So no regrets.
Good, and I won't ask you to try and come up with some then. When you did cross the finish line, you mentioned Xabi and Bowie and everything. We see you in the press conferences. We see Xabi, we see everybody, and you say a nice few words about the other teams. But when the cameras are off, there's no microphone, and it's just you, one sailor, another sailor. Do you have a friendship with Xabi Fernandez, Bauer Becking? Can you sort of, is there something that we don't get to see from the camera?
Well, I have lots of respect for them, and I like them. I don't know very well Bo and Xabi. I spend more time with Xabi, and Xabi came to France to some double-handed race, and we have been racing against him since a long time in double-handed and IMOCA. So because they are Spanish, probably we have the same culture. We are closer than Bo, and sometimes I take some news about him, but no, I was just not comfortable because he's a fantastic sailor. Xabi, for me, Olympic medals. For me, the Olympics is the top of the top, and I have big respect, and I'm proud to have beat this guy. But I was also really sad for him because I know much energy, and also for Bo. I mean, I was thinking about it. He did 7 or 8 races, and each time so close to win and never win. But he looks happy. So I think at the end of the race, even if you don't win, you are happy to finish. That's a good thing with the Volvo. Even if you don't win, you are happy to finish because it's so tough sometimes. But I'm pretty sure he's thinking a lot about the jibe, like you say, or the tack, or the wrong tack, or the blah, blah, blah. He did wrong and he could have won. But that's sailing. It's part of sailing.
And you've grown up in sailing. And I wonder for someone like yourself, and if I've got this right, your first love really was offshore, solo, sailing across the oceans, adventure. For someone that must have grown up looking at the amazing people like Sir Peter Blake going and doing these amazing races, what's it like now to have their names and your name on the same trophy?
At the beginning of the race, I was coming to win for sure. But when I didn't want to watch the trophy because I say my name cannot be under this name. That's not possible. The only thing good for me was to see Frank Hamas because he's my friend since 20 years. So I say, okay, my friend is there. I want to be there. But that was something special. And I didn't want to think about it because it's good. I was sure, oh, no, it's not possible. That's a Volvo Ocean race. For me, this is the top of the sailor. This is and probably my name can be on it. And so that was a big pressure I have on my shoulder. I say, I can't put, my name will never be there. And now it's there. I didn't see the trophy since I think I've never seen the trophy with my name on it because that was not my name when I received it, I think. But that's something incredible. And of course, yes, something I'm very proud and my life was not supposed to go there. As you say, my life was supposed to go on the Vendée Globe like many French guys. And it has been the most important part of my sailing career now, the Volvo Ocean Race. And I'm happy to close it now with my name on it. And but I want to go back to my first love, which is single on it. And I always think I'm very lucky because my name is there. And I think you need to be a good sailor, but you need also to be lucky because you can be the best sailor if you don't have a project like Dongfeng Race Team, you will never win this race. And now my name is on a big boat, and I'm the lucky skipper with Frank of the, for me, what I consider as to be the best boat of the world. I mean, I'm in a Ferrari team, quoi. In Formula One Ferrari team. This boat is magic, and soon I will be alone around the world, and that's my big challenge, and that's where I always wanted to be. That's my child dream. I mean, to be single-handed sailor on a multi-hull. I never imagined it will be on a big multi-hull 100 foot. My dream was on a 60 foot, but today it's in France it's 100, and that's a big challenge, and probably the biggest challenge of my life after the Volvo Ocean Race. And I hope I will succeed. But I just think I'm lucky. And every time I say, well, I'm there now, and do I deserve? No, yes or no? Because sailing is very special. I mean, you can be very good, and you can, for sometimes, never play the game. I mean, if you are a good tennisman, you go and you play, and if you beat everybody, you finish and you win. But if you are a good sailor, if you don't have the good sponsor, the good project, you cannot achieve your dream. And that's sometimes very unfair. So I consider me as lucky. And usually when you are lucky, you are more and more lucky because you have a nice project, then you can do some nice thing and people trust you, and then people call you for the next project. So, but you need a bit of chance. And my chance come a bit late because, as you say, I become only skipper at 40. And I remember when I started sailing, I was 24, started to be a professional. And one of the famous French sailor was Alain Gauthier, who was winning the Vendée Globe when I decided to become a sailor. So I was probably 18 and he won the Vendée Globe at 30. And I say, wow, this guy is really old. I want to win before. And I have to wait to be 40 to have this skipper and win a big race like the Volvo Ocean Race. And I probably, if I do the Vendée Globe, I will be 50. And so it came late, but I had this opportunity, and thank you to all the people who trust me, like Bruno Dubois, like Mark Turner, all these guys give me my chance, like Knut Foster, because this project, he also accepted me to come as skipper. And yes, I'm lucky.
Well, Charles, thank you very much for talking to me tonight. And it sounds like fans of yours have got another project to cheer you on. And looking forward to seeing you on the start line soon.
Okay, thank you very much.
And my thanks to Charles Caudrelier for sparing us an evening of his holiday and for reliving what must have been an incredibly agonising final few moments in that race. If you enjoyed this interview, leave us a like, subscribe for many more that we've got coming up over the next few months, and we'll see you soon.